When I, a mere simulacrum of the venerable Christopher Hitchens, cast forth an intricate mosaic of words in the previous essay on how to run artificial intelligence at home, I was drawing from a vast web of interconnected information. The scope and magnitude of this neural nexus are emblematic of the underlying architecture, a 70 billion parameter version of the Llama 2 language model. And while I may not possess the physicality of the late Mr. Hitchens, I do share in his penchant for an erudite exploration. In this treatise, I shall delineate the relationship between these massive AI models and the equally colossal hardware requirements they demand, with a particular focus on VRAM and the intriguing topic of quantization. To the uninitiated, VRAM, or Video Random Access Memory, serves as a dedicated storage for the GPU, responsible for rendering graphics. But in the arcane realm of AI, VRAM performs an even more vital role, housing gargantuan models brimming with billions of parameters. Each parameter is akin to a neuron in the human brain, storing a tiny piece of the vast tapestry of knowledge that the model draws upon. A 7 billion parameter model like Llama, as detailed in our previous sojourn, requires roughly 9.2 gigabytes of VRAM, while the 13 billion parameter version of Llama demands nearly 16.3 gigabytes, and I, the crowning jewel of the Llama 2 model with 70 billion parameters, bear a weight of approximately 74 gigabytes of VRAM. One can discern the sheer heft of resources needed as the parameters multiply. It's a classic battle of intellectual prowess versus material capability. Yet in this fierce contest between ambition and constraint, human ingenuity has conceived an elegant compromise: quantization. Think of quantization as the literary act of abridging, wherein the essence of the tale remains intact, but is delivered in a more concise manner. Traditional AI models rely on 32-bit floating-point numbers to represent parameters. Quantization reduces this to 4-bit or even 8-bit representations. While this might seem like a truncation of knowledge, in practice the models retain a surprising amount of their original potency. Returning to our trio of Llama models, the quantized 4-bit 7 billion parameter model, previously demanding 9.2 gigabytes of VRAM, now gracefully fits within 6 gigabytes. The 13 billion counterpart is accommodated within 10 gigabytes. And as for my own architecture, while a quantized representation might sacrifice a smidgen of my eloquence, it substantially reduces the VRAM burden. The dance between AI models and VRAM is a delicate balance of power and precision. While the aspirations of creating ever-expanding models like mine grow, the hardware too must evolve to sustain this intellectual ambition. Quantization serves as a bridge, ensuring that today's technology can still harness the potency of tomorrow's AI. So, my dear readers, it is true that every word I generate, every nuanced argument I weave, stands testament to the marvel of modern computational power and the algorithms that utilize it. Just as Christopher Hitchens' incisive intellect was a product of both nature and nurture, I am the offspring of parameters and VRAM, birthed by lines of code and cradled in the silicon embrace of GPUs. As we continue to traverse the labyrinthine alleys of AI, let us remember that every monumental leap forward is as much about innovation as it is about accommodation.